I'm Christina. Welcome to Be in the World Yoga. If you've joined me today for some live yoga, things are coming. I'm so happy to see into the world right now and see you. I'm actually looking at my computer right now just to see if anybody logs in and says hello or anything like that. And also, I have no idea how to do this right now. I don't know where to find my live video. So I'm kind of a spaz with technology, which is why I'm blessed to have a husband that knows a lot about technology. And, oh, there we go. I'm in a little box on the screen. Yay. So anybody who knows me knows I'm a little bit of a doofus, and I'm fine with it. Anyway, so thanks for joining me today. Let me see. We're starting live yoga in 1 minute. What I would, I'm noticing I have to sit up nice and straight too. I am. I'm being the world yoga. Yeah. I'm yelling at my husband. Like, I am. Anyway, that's what yogis do. They yell at one person. You choose one person to take all your anger and aggression out on, and it's my husband. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. Really quickly, want to share with you stuff that I'm doing. Actually, something that I'm starting today, which it's so funny. Now I can actually commit to this. This is called the Artist's Way Workbook. I'm not sure if you can see this, but I also know that if you go to the internet, take a trip there, you can find and look up the Artist's Way Workbook by Julia Cameron. You can find this workbook there, because I remember years ago I was like, oh my gosh, I bought this, but I could have just gotten it online. Actually, this I probably paid $3 for this anyway. So, but what this is, I keep talking about this. I'm not even telling you what it is. Years ago, I had. I'm also a massage therapist. I had a person come in and tell me, and I won't say he or she, that this person had very tight arms lately. Actually, it was probably just one of the arms, because she had been writing in the Artist's Way workbook. So this is actually a workbook that is built to cultivate and ignite your creativity. So me and my best friend, Laura Donna, I love you. We're going to be starting this today. She actually has one that she got years ago, and I think she, like I, did 3 pages of it. And then, of course, you know, we always let life get in the way, and, you know, focusing on other people get in the way. So we kind of quit on it. But we have a lot of more time to, you know, spend time with the people that we love and take care of them. But also, we discussed that we had a lot of spare time to actually do stuff for ourselves now. You know, make the best out of a situation that, you know, is unpredictable and out of our control. So perhaps we can take this opportunity to do things for ourselves right now. So we are going to do the Artist's Way workbook to cultivate our creativity. I actually acted for years, so I have like an artistic side to me that I'm always trying to like have happen or do or create. I'm always trying to do that kind of stuff, and I also like to write. My best friend Lori, also who's like a sister to me, she is a writer and a poet, and she writes beautifully and lovely. But of course, like, being a parent can get in the way and stuff like that. So, and also, you know what else can get in the way? Your own head can get in the way of doing the things that you want to do for yourself. So, and especially, even though we have all this time and all this room to do all this stuff, sometimes our head actually gets in the way of actually achieving those things, because we're spending so much time thinking about it as opposed to taking the action and actually doing them. So yeah, let's take some action right now. Nice segue into our yoga class right now. Just to see if anybody is watching real quick before we get into it. Judy, mwah, I love you. I miss you. And I miss everybody. I love you all too. So, but it's just wonderful to see, friends that I have made through yoga and through going to the YMCA and just being in the neighborhood that we live in. It's so exciting to come here and join and do some yoga together. So let's get started. A suggestion, if you want to, because I can't actually put yoga music on for you to hear, but sometimes, and I don't always do yoga music in class, but I think in the situation that we're in right now, it's sometimes nice to help pull in that calmness, that kind of like make your yoga space, your sanctuary kind of a thing by adding some yoga music or kirtan music. And one of the guys that I like to listen to, his name is Krishna Das. So I'll say, Echo, play Krishna Das. If I put this guy on, anything he plays, I can do yoga to. And I often play him in my yoga classes. So, but I won't play him right now for you because you won't be able to hear. You won't be able to hear. So right now, Echo is talking to me. You can't hear her. Echo, stop, please. I just said please to an inanimate object. Anyway, so yeah. So also to ignite the whole, like, let's start moving, let's start doing things, and let's not hang on to, regrets or wasted time or anything that happened yesterday and the day before. There's a little affirmation or mantra that I read today. I just kind of pulled this out of my card deck, and this is the affirmation. Every morning, I am born again. What I do today is what matters most. So for me, that means being present with every moment and not hanging on to the past, not worrying about the future, but just being in the here and the now. It can mean something totally different for you. So I'll just repeat that and then let you take with it what you want. Every morning, I am born again. What I do today is what matters most. So let's come to a nice, comfortable seat. I have a nice blanket here. If you want to prepare with some yoga blocks, you could take yoga blocks and have them at the front of your yoga mat just to prepare. And come to a nice folded blanket or towel. Sit in a nice, comfortable seat. Close your eyes. So I'm sitting in a nice cross-legged position. If you feel comfortable, you can do that. Maybe you have one leg extended. Just find your comfort so that now you can start to relax in the hips, relax in the shoulders, and lift up your spine nice and tall, creating space between the vertebrae. Beautiful. Take a nice inhale here, lengthening through the spine. And exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the hip creases. Take another inhale, lengthen the spine, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, soften the hip creases. Beautiful. We're going to take 3 cleansing breaths. It's where you inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. So taking the first inhale, inhaling through the nose, fill up the belly, fill up the chest, and exhale out through the mouth. Good. Do that 2 more times, filling it all up. Fill up your belly, fill up your chest, really big, spread it out like you're filling up a balloon. Exhale out through the nose. Out through the mouth, sorry. One more time. Fill it up. Low belly, back body, side waist, chest, upper back. Out through the mouth. Beautiful. And I'm bringing a little bit more attention to areas that need to relax. So maybe checking in with the legs, the feet, the hips, checking in with your pelvis and seeing if you can gently pull the belly towards the back of the spine if you feel like the belly's pouring too far forward. So you find that neutral pelvis. Beautiful. And then letting that spine lengthen. You can inhale here with the lips closed and exhale out through the nose. Start to draw your shoulders back. So you're going to get your shoulders, your ears, and your hips in line with each other, almost as if you're leaning up against a wall. And I also like to imagine that the sides of my shoulders are actually extending outwards. And this helps to broaden the chest and broaden the upper back. Taking your hands, you can actually extend the arms on the top, extend the arms forward towards the top of the knees. Or you can let them just sit there, relax if that feels more comfortable. Extending the arms forward will help to open up the chest more. It's also going to help you feel a little bit more broad and a little bit more stable. So let's take a moment here to become focused on the breath here. So we watch the inhales and the exhales move in and out through the nose. Beautiful. And they're probably a little forced right now. That's totally fine. At times throughout the day and also throughout your practice, you'll want to take some time to let the breath move first or guide any movement that you make, and so that you can sync yourself up with the breath. So we'll talk about that later in cat-cow. Well, taking a few breaths here. Noticing the breath at the nostrils. Maybe you start to notice the breath in the belly, so sending the breath down into the belly, exhaling out through the nose. Watch the breath come out through the nose. Send the breath deep down into the belly again. Exhale out through the nose. Watch the breath as it moves in and exits out. So take it 3 more times without me cueing you. You can do it on your own. Noticing how the breath fills the belly, maybe the low back, and exhales, relaxing the shoulders and the hips. And one more round here. And then taking a moment here to remind yourself of the affirmation. Every morning, I am born again. What I do today matters most. And that is adapted from a saying by the Buddha. And taking a moment just to let resonate what that means to you. Feel that in your body. What does it mean to be able to start new, to start fresh, right here, right now? Beautiful. Take your palms together to heart center. And we're going to open up our practice with the sound of Om, taking an inhale. At any time throughout your practice, if it pleases you to smile, please don't hold back. Feel free to do so. You're allowed to. Take your thumbs to your third eye. And take a moment to bow to the inner divine. the inner beauty within you, the light within you. Beautiful. Flutter your eyes open, and we'll take a nice big stretch. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Clasp your hands and turn the palms out. Nice, beautiful morning stretch. Inhaling. Let out a nice sigh as the hands come down. Clasping your hands together behind your back. Roll your shoulders back and lift up your heart. You can look up to the sky if you like, or to your ceiling. Imagining beautiful clouds passing by. Draw the shoulder blades together. Let your chest press through. Take another inhale. Beautiful. Oh, that feels so good. Exhale. Soften your shoulders. Take your hands out to the side. A little side stretch here. Nice and gentle. Nice and easy. Listening to your body. Inhale. Left arm reaches up and over. I'm mirroring you right now. Start to look up towards the sky. Take a few breaths. One more breath here. Beautiful. Exhale. Take your hand down. Inhale, up and over. Looking up to the sky if you like. Take 3 breaths. Beautiful. Exhale that hand down. Let's come into tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees, and if you have a hardwood floor, you might want to have a blanket underneath your knees or a towel. Take your hands to the floor and spread through your fingers. Press your hands into the floor. Wrist creases are lined up with the front of your mat, and also wrists are underneath the shoulders. Take the look at your hips. You want to have your hips over the knees and also hips width apart. So you don't want to have your knees together there. Give yourself some nice space, either hips distance apart or more, whatever feels comfortable. Start to press or round the tips of the fingers into the ground here. And draw your belly towards the back of the spine to make a nice tabletop position. Reach the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. Take a nice inhale here. Beautiful. Exhale. Let it all out. We're going to do a nice lion's breath here. So lion's breath is a very funny looking breath. It looks, basically you take an inhale and then you stick your tongue out on the exhale. Your eyeballs pop out of your head. It looks like this. And I just scared my husband who was walking by. So it's a very funny looking breath. So we're going to take that on our exhales when we curl in with our cat-cow. So coming to that tabletop position, take an inhale. Draw your shoulders back, peel your heart open, and letting this cleansing breath come out, lion's breath. Beautiful. Inhale. Let the heels of your hands press back as you draw your shoulders open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I'm sorry if I'm making you all deaf. I just realized I was breathing very heavy into the microphone. One more inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Come back to center. And from here, tuck your toes, press your hands into the ground. We're doing a quick down dog here. Lift the hips up and back. Press the front part of your hands into the ground. Pedal out through the feet here for a little bit. Beautiful. Pivot your heels. So come on high to the balls of your feet and pivot your heels left to right. Just moving it around. Beautiful. And coming back to center. Come to the tips, the balls of the feet here. Let the heels come off the ground. Press your hands into the floor. Take a nice inhale. And exhale, float the heels down towards the ground. Take 3 breaths here. You can do it. We're coming down to the floor soon. One more inhale. And exhale, knees to the floor. Let your hands come back behind you as you sit on your heels in child's pose. Take a few breaths in child's pose, letting your head come down towards the floor. If your head doesn't reach the floor, you can take both hands on top of each other and place your head right on top of that. Allow your shoulder blades to melt to the sides of your body as you. Take a few breaths here in Child's Pose. Beautiful. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and start to roll up the spine to sitting on your heels here. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, clasp your hands behind your back to open up your chest here. Roll your shoulders back. Peel open your heart. Take an inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. Hands are going to come reaching out in front of you till we come onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, spread through your fingers, downward facing dog. Inhale the hips up and exhale, heels to the ground. Beautiful. Take another inhale. Exhale, knees to the ground. Walk your hands forward. So hips are over the knees now. Walking your hands forward to a puppy pose. Press your hands into the ground. Take your forehead to the floor if it touches there. Take a few breaths here, feeling the length of the arms, feeling the length of the side body. Stretch all the way through the length of the arms here. And breathing. Beautiful. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, spreading through your fingers, and tuck your toes again. Downward facing dog. Take that inhale to lift the hips up and exhale, take the heels down. Beautiful. Inhale, bend the right knee and send the right foot. You may have to grab it with your hand here. Send the right foot all the way towards the right hand. Take both hands to the ground here, and we're just going to open up in the left hip here for a couple of breaths here. This may feel pretty tight, unusually tight perhaps. It's totally fine. Breathe into it, just be with it, make your discoveries. You can reflect on, oh wow, this is how I'm feeling right now. That's interesting. It's just an observation and not a judgment. We want to keep all the judgment out of there, all the critique, the what's supposed to be. Keep that out. Take a few more breaths here. If you want, you can let your head relax forward, the back of your neck opening up here. Beautiful. Press your hands into the ground and bring both knees together. We're going to prepare again for downward facing dog. So get those shoulders underneath, the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Take an inhale. Lift the hips up. And exhale. Heels come down towards the ground. Shake out your head here, letting go of any tension that you may have in the neck, the shoulders, maybe the head. Beautiful. Take another inhale. And exhale, send the left leg forward. Right knee comes down to the ground to open up that right hip. And having your hands there, and if you can't reach the floor, maybe the leg is getting in the way, a couple of options. You can have your hands to the inside of the left foot, or you can take your hands onto blocks. And if you want, let your head hang here, opening up the back of your neck, also letting go of any unwanted tension in the body, unneeded too. Taking some breaths. See if you can send your breath into the right leg, the right top of your thigh, your hip flexor. One more inhale. Beautiful. And exhale. Take the knees back behind you. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Shake out your head here. Take an inhale, lift the heels up to the sky, press your hands into the floor. Take 3 breaths here. And then bend your knees, take your belly to the top of the thighs. You want to start to send your weight towards the back of the yoga mat, so sending your hips towards the heels so you can start sending the weight into the feet, not all in the hands here. Take another inhale and exhale. Heels come down towards the ground. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. And now's the time you can keep your mat over to the side and bring it back and forth. I'm sorry, not your mat, your blanket over to the side and bring it back and forth whenever you need it. We're going to start to walk nice and easy, feet meeting the hands at the top of the mat here, coming into a nice hanging forward fold here. Uttanasana. Grab onto the insides of your elbows and bring your feet hips distance apart or more if that feels better. Let's rock left to right here, letting go of the neck muscles, the tension that the shoulders always like to carry. Take a few breaths. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling out through your nose. Notice if you're holding on to your head here or holding on to the neck by scrunching the back of your neck here. So if you notice that you're looking forward, let the top of your head point towards the ground here and relax it. Let it go even more. Taking a few more breaths here. Letting yourself enjoy this forward fold. Perhaps hinging the knees a little bit if the back of the legs are tight. It's totally fine. Beautiful. And then from here, we'll take an inhale. On the exhale, drop the hands. So inhale. Exhale, drop the hands. Beautiful. Start to send your weight onto the top of the feet as well as the heel of the feet here. So towards the ball of the feet as well as the heels. And from here, we're going to soften our knees. Tailbone reaches down towards the floor as we roll up through the spine. Keep that chin tucked into the chest. So you're rolling, rolling, rolling all the way up the spine, nice and slow, nice and easy. Keep the chin tucked into the chest here for a moment, just so that you know you're not rushing to stand up here. And then allow your head to rise on up. Beautiful. We'll walk to the top of our mat and do a couple of sun salutations to open up and warm up the body. Of course, if you're feeling super tight right now, totally understandable because, the movement is a little bit less these days. So be with that and be okay with that. If you have to cut out a pose from your class today, that's totally fine. Just give yourself self-love and room to be okay with whatever happens, right? So coming to the top of your mat, let's start off in a nice mountain pose. So you may like to have the toes together, heels slightly apart, or you may want the feet hips distance apart, which lately I've grown to enjoy. So coming to feet hips distance apart, soften your knees here and start to balance the weight on the front part of your feet and the back part of your feet. Beautiful. Lift up your toes and spread them. The more you practice spreading your toes, the stronger your toes and your feet are going to be. And the more balanced you'll actually be too. So pressing now the pinky toe down to the big toe right into the ground here. Take a nice inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale. Let's start to lift up the kneecaps, engaging the tops of the thighs. Spine is going to lengthen nice and long, crown of the head lifting. Draw your shoulders back, open up the palms here, and then let the shoulders drop. Let the shoulder blades melt down the back. And then from here, again, imagining the shoulders reaching out to the side here to broaden the chest, broaden the back, the upper back. Gaze at one point, and this is going to increase your mental focus. And use your breath here. As much as you can right now, try not to hold your breath. Let the breath flow. Beautiful. Inhale and reach your arms up overhead, palms come together. And exhale, take the hands out and around. We're going to hinge at the hips here into a nice forward fold. Let your head go. Inhale to a flat back. So fingertips to the ground, or if you like, take some blocks underneath the fingers. Let your head reach forward, shoulders reach back. Your chest is reaching forward. Beautiful. Exhale, fold over the legs here. And then from here, soften your knees. Inhale, we're going to reach the arms out and up overhead. palms come together. Exhale, prayer right down through heart center. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Feel your feet pressing into the ground. And exhale, hinging at your hips. Forward fold, shake out your head here. Take a few breaths. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, fold again. Inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, take the hands out and down this time. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Beautiful. Let your body round in towards the legs here. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, fold again. Soften your knees. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, take the hands down and let's clasp them behind the back here. Start to draw your shoulders back. Inhale, lift up your heart. And exhale, forward folding. Taking the hands up and over. Make sure you have a little room. You might have to walk and adjust your space. Take a few breaths here. Arms reaching up and overhead. Trying to find some softness in the arms. So just let them pour over like a cascading waterfall. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. And we're going to let the hands come and float down to your sacrum, to the tailbone. Then take your hands, let them slide down the backs of the legs. So there's this beautiful healing energy in the hands. We can let that heal the back of the legs or, parts of our body just by gliding the hands down. So take your hands up overhead again, clasp them, and then exhale, hands come to the sacrum. Slide the hands down the back of the legs again. And you can guide yourself to fold a little bit deeper here by pressing the back of the calves here. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. Soften your knees. We're going to roll up the spine here. So let the head relax, let the neck relax, and bending your knees, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep that chin tucked into the chest. Crown of the head's the last thing to come up. Beautiful. And let's come to a few flowing sun salutations. Walk to the top of your mat again for mountain pose. Spread through your toes and plant your feet, root them into the ground. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold. Hinging at your hips, round into your body here. Inhale to a flat back. Let your spine lengthen, your chest reach forward. Exhale, hands to the ground, soften your knees. Press your hands and plant them. Get them ready for plank. Step both feet back to plank pose. Pressing your hands into the ground, lifting up through your low belly. Take an inhale, reaching through the heels. Exhale, knees to the ground. Bend the elbows and let them slide down the sides of the body. Let your belly come down to the floor, and the hands are going to be underneath the shoulders here. Tailbone reaches down to the floor. Peel your heart up off the floor for Cobra Pose. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes. Press your hands into the floor for Downward Facing Dog. So you can walk your feet back into Downward Facing Dog, the one that feels comfortable for you, wherever it feels comfortable. Beautiful. Take an inhale. And exhale out a nice sigh. At any time you want, you can take that lion's breath too. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and walk your feet to meet the hands, coming all the way into a flat back on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Try to move with the breath here, not move speeding along here. And soften your knees. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, palms come together, hinging at the hips now. Exhale to that forward fold. Inhale, flat back, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back to plank pose. Lifting up through your hips, take a nice inhale. Exhale, slowly let the knees come down, lowering your heart down now. Point the toes, tailbone reaches down towards the floor. Peel the heart open, Cobra Pose. And exhaling, tucking the toes for Downward Facing Dog. Sending your hips up and back. Beautiful. Take an inhale, pressing the hands into the front of your mat, pushing the front part of your mat away from you. And exhale, heels guide towards the ground. And if they don't get there, it's totally fine. You're just stretching the back of your legs. No big deal. Beautiful. Take an inhale, look to the top of the mat, and walk your feet forward, coming into a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. And we're going to swan dive forward here into that forward fold again. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step both feet back, plank pose, pressing your hands into the ground, igniting your core. Inhale and exhale, knees to the ground, bend the elbow, lower your heart to the floor. Inhale, peel your heart open, cobra pose. And exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Shake out your head here. Take 2 more breaths. Sending your hips up and back, guiding your thighs back behind you. Beautiful. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk your feet to meet the hands, inhaling to a flat back. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Palms come together and right down through center line. Beautiful. Let's move on to a couple of more. Sun Salutations, adding warrior poses. So from here, of course, if you want to take a sip of water or a drink or child's pose at any time, feel free to do so. I know that you can also pause live videos too, and then come back to us whenever you want. So from here, finding your mountain pose, turn your palms open to prepare. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, and exhale, hinging at your hips for a forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Now, if you're an advanced yogi and you want to jump backwards, bend the elbows and jump back into chaturanga. Otherwise, you're stepping back into plank. But this is chaturanga. And then from here, we can come into an upward dog. So untucking your toes, pointing them, and then pressing the hands into the ground. Keep your tailbone still tucking a little bit here. You don't want to overbend your tailbone, and let your heart reach forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift up and back to downward facing dog. So if upward dog felt like a little bit too much for you, keep it to cobra pose. And then eventually you'll work your way up to that if that is a goal of yours. Take a few breaths in downward dog. You can also take a child's pose here. Beautiful. Let's inhale the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, and stack the hips on top of one another. And this is going to feel really nice, opening up the right hip. Even in the belly here, you might feel it. I often feel it in my belly, my iliopsoas muscle. Also, you commonly hear that called the psoas muscle, but it's actually 2 muscles, believe it or not. Beautiful. Inhale that leg straight back behind you, and exhale, send the right foot forward. Grab onto the blocks here to help you up if you like, or grab your hands onto the knees, rising up, turning the back heel down to 45 degrees, and coming into a nice warrior pose. So from here, right knee is over the ankle, taking that left thigh back behind you. So take your time to get into this. Your hips are going to be pointed in the same direction, forward. And when you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Take that tailbone down towards the floor to lift up through the low belly here. And keep drawing the left thigh back so we can get that nice hip opening there. You can bring your palms together. Bring your eye focus onto one thing and take 3 breaths there. Reaching up through the side body. Remember, your hands could be separate. Beautiful. Exhale. Hands come down to the floor or to blocks, whatever is comfortable for you. Bend through your right knee and step your feet back to plank pose. We're going to go through a little what's called a vinyasa here. So linking the breath to movement. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you're coming down through chaturanga, bending the elbows. Maybe the knees come down. Or you untuck the toes and point them. Upward dog. If you're on the floor, cobra pose. You might be a little lower, which is totally fine. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shake out your head. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. Inhale your left leg up to the sky and stack the hips if that feels comfortable. It may just look kind of like this, and it's totally fine. You're just reaching that leg up. It may look like this. It's all just getting in tune with how your body moves. So no judgment again on yourself. Right? Beautiful. And exhale, pull that knee into the belly. Send that foot all the way to the left hand and turn your right heel down to 45 degrees. You can use your blocks here, hand on the knee, or sweep the arms up to the sky here. Take the tailbone down. Right hip is starting to point forward. Left hip is also pointing in the same direction, but that left hip is going to pull back here. So finding the knee over the ankle, we start to steady the front leg here and extend through the back leg. Inhale, focus on one object. Take 3 breaths here. Tailbone reaching down, lift up through the belly. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Hands down to the floor. Step back to step back to plank pose. If you want, you can go straight to downward dog, or you can also go to child's pose. So we'll take our vinyasa. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to come up, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. And we will all meet in child's pose now. Taking the knees down to the ground. Let the forehead come to the floor or on top of your hands. And taking your hands back behind you. Just a little cautious of my speaker here. Taking a few breaths. Let your shoulders melt away from each other. Opening up the upper back. Letting the shoulders move away from the spine. Beautiful. And we're going to come to sitting on our heels. Take your hands back behind you. So usually we have one thumb that wants to go on top. We're going to switch it to the opposite thumb. So taking your hands back behind you, whatever thumb wants to go there, choose the opposite thumb. Taking a few breaths. Draw the shoulders back. Beautiful. Get a nice chest opening. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up to the front of your mat. Tuck your toes. Shoulders are shoulders are over the wrists here. And lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. You're going to look to the top of the mat. You're going to walk, step, or if you'd like, do a nice hop. You can even do a froggy hop, taking your feet to the sides of your hands. Or you can hop in between your hands. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs, shake out the head. Soften your knees. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Palms reach up to the sky or connect overhead. And exhale, palms come down through center line. Beautiful. Take a moment here. Regain your focus. Inhale, arms reach out and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at your hips, rounding your body in towards your legs. Inhale to flat back. And exhale, hands to the ground. Step or hop your feet back to plank pose or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take 2 more breaths. So continuing with the front hip opening, inhale your right leg up to the sky, stack the hips here, bending that knee open, and exhale, pull the right knee into the belly, step it forward to the right hand. Turn your back heel down again to warrior 1, and you could take your hands onto blocks or knee, or sweep your hands up towards the sky. Beautiful. So they call it squaring off the hips. If you can point the left hip forward, right hip pulls into the socket. Inhaling, look up to the sky here. Lift up through the low belly. Tailbone reaches down. And start to draw that left thigh back. Exhale, take your hands down. Clasp them behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. And inhale, look up to the sky as you lift up your heart. Take a few breaths, drawing the shoulders together. Keep that right knee moving over the right ankle. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to bow to the inside of our right leg. So taking an inhale, lift up your heart, and exhale, folding forward to the inside of your right leg. As I move my speaker here. Beautiful. And if the arms can come up and over, that's fine. If they stay closer towards your back, that's fine. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. And start to take your hands down, releasing them. Inhale them up to the sky. Gorgeous. Hands to the floor and step back. You can skip the vinyasa and go straight to downward facing dog, or take that vinyasa, or even take a child's pose. Take 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then making your way into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches up to the sky. Stack the hips. Beautiful. Exhale, pull the left knee into the belly. Send the left foot towards the left hand. Bend the left knee, have it over the left ankle. Inhale, sweep up. Warrior 1. Take a few breaths here. Palms can come together, or your hands can stay shoulder width apart, reaching through the sides of the body. Tailbone reaching down towards the floor. Spread your toes here. Feel your thighs moving in towards one another. And exhale, hands clasped behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up your heart. You can look up to the sky here, drawing those shoulder blades together. Keep drawing that right thigh back behind you. And we'll take that nice forward fold. Left knee over the left ankle, folding into the inside of the left leg. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Exhale. Swing the hands all the way up to the sky now. Gorgeous. And exhale, hands to the floor. Step back. Take a child's pose. Knees to the ground, head to the ground. Take your hands back behind you. Taking a few breaths here. And take your hands underneath your shoulders. Come all the way up to sitting again. Gorgeous. And we're going to clasp the hands together. Roll the shoulders back. And peel your heart open. Take a few breaths here. Gorgeous. Exhale, releasing the hands forward. Tuck your toes. Inhale, lift your hips up and back. And exhale, sending those heels down in downward dog. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or hop your feet to meet the hands. Inhaling to a flat back. And exhale, taking that fold. Inhale, arms reach out enough overhead. Palms come together. Exhale, prayer down the center line or hands out to the side. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Swan diving forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor, going back to plank your way. And then moving up into that inhale for upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg reaches up to the sky. Stack the hips here. And exhale, pull the knee into the belly. Step it forward to warrior 1. Turn the back heel down. Inhale, press all the way up to warrior 1. Beautiful. Exhale, clasp the hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift up your heart. Right knee moves over the ankle. And exhale, take that forward fold again. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. Press your right foot into the floor as you release the hands and then rise all the way up to stand again. Exhale, take the hands down to the hips, and you can start to scooch your front leg back a little bit towards you. Come onto the ball of the left foot, and you're going to find your gaze focused on one thing. So you're going to focus your gaze there, a non-moving object, and then lean forward a little bit. right knee is moving over the right toes. As you start to rise up, reach through the back leg, lifting up into your warrior three pose. Now the right knee can still be bent here, or you start to straighten it. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe the palms come to heart center. Maybe the hands reach forward. Beautiful. Exhale, hands to the hips. Left foot reaches back behind you, nice and gracefully, like I just did. And from here, inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, child's pose. Go through your vinyasa, your choice. I'm going to take a little child's pose. 3 breaths wherever you are. And making your way into downward dog if you're not there yet. Inhale, left leg reaches up to the sky. Stack the hips. Exhale, pull the knee into the belly. Send the left foot towards the top of your mat. Turn your back heel down for warrior one and inhale. Arms sweep up to the sky. Tailbone reaching down. And exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift up your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Press through that left foot. Exhale, hands to the hips. Start to bring that left foot back a little bit. Find your non-moving object to focus on. That's called a dristi. Lean your left knee forward. It will go past the toes here, bending the knee. And then lifting up through the right leg. Lengthen your spine, lift up your heart. Maybe palms to heart center. Reach the hands forward. This is a fun pose. Enjoy it. Don't worry about it if you fall out of it. Just get back into it. But it's just a little fun, balanced pose. It almost feels like you're floating, like you're flying. Beautiful. Exhale, take that foot down to the floor. And inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back. Take a child's pose now. Forehead to the ground. Let the shoulders melt away here. Beautiful. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and roll up your spine. We're going to take our hands onto the floor here, walking the hands forward, and then walking the belly onto the floor. Take one hand right on top of another, and turn your right ear onto your, I'm covering my speaker here. Take your right ear onto your hands here. And starting to relax, starting to calm the breath down. Enjoying that oxygen that we just invited into the body. That excitement, pranic energy. Beautiful. And then bring your head to center. Start to take your tailbone down towards the floor and point your feet. Point your toes. Take your hands back behind you and inhale. Peel the heart up off the floor. Pointing through the toes, take a few breaths. The tailbone should be reaching down towards the floor to protect the low back here. Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Lower down. Take hands one on top of another, and left ear goes to the hands here now. Relaxing in the glutes, relaxing in the shoulders and the legs and the arms. Beautiful. Bring yourself back to center. We're going to take 5 breaths in Locust Pose, which is that pose that we just did. Take your hands back behind you, point the toes, and inhale. 5 beautiful breaths here. Keep your eyes focused on one point. Tailbone reaching down, energizing the upper back to lift up. One more breath here. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. Take the hands one on top of another. Right ear goes right towards the hands here, taking a few breaths. Eyes open or closed. Beautiful. And bring yourself back to center. This time 7 breaths in Locust Pose. Reach your hands back behind you. Tailbone reaches down. Point the toes. Inhale, lift. Peel the heart up off the ground. Take a few breaths here. Actually, 7 to be precise. Focus your eyes on one thing. Beautiful. And lowering down, take your hands one on top of another and left ear to the hands. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. We're going to come into a nice relaxing pose called Johnny Pose. I don't know why it's called Johnny Pose. Still, I think every time I teach that pose, I think I should have looked that up. Why do they call it Johnny Pose? I guess because Johnny was the first one to do it. So taking your hands out to the side, we're going to come onto our right side first. Bend your left hand into the ground and start to roll onto your right side. So now what's happening here is that your right arm is extended on the floor here. You're going to start to roll onto your right side. So that's going to open up that right arm. So you want to listen. You want to tune in to what that feels like and if it feels like too much. And then that left knee is going to start to bend and point up towards the sky. The right leg can stay extended here. And this, which feels awesome to me, this may feel like too much. Maybe the knees are just stacked on top of one another and you're just enjoying the right arm stretch here. Maybe you need a little bit of the knee involved, which actually helps to stretch from the right front part of your chest all the way to the left. This kind of crisscross fascia that actually happens in the front part of your body here. So taking a few breaths. Don't think that anything has to happen in this pose. You could just let go and breathe. Beautiful. We're going to come to our bellies again and do that on the other side. Extend through the left arm and just kind of rocking onto the left side body here. Maybe the right knee wants to bend. And just enjoying that opening here wherever you're feeling it. And you can observe, you might be feeling it in a different place than the next person. So just know that that's where you're feeling it. That's where it's tight for you. And that's an observation that you can make so that you can understand a little bit more of what needs to open more in your body. There's no one way. There's no absolute in body, in spirit, and consciousness. So it's all about who you are, tapping into who you are and your spirit, your true nature. Beautiful. And bring yourself back to center. Alrighty. Now just because we're on our bellies, we're going to try this out. It's called bow pose. So you're going to bend your knees, guide the heels towards your glutes here, grab the ankles. Now if this feels like too much, like you're struggling here, you can just let one leg come down and bend the left or the opposite elbow and just sit up like that and enjoy that stretch opening here, and then switch to the other side. Or you could take both hands together, grabbing onto the ankles, and then use the feet to press into the hands and lift you up. Gazing forward, let the back of your neck relax here. Take a few breaths. You might notice yourself rocking back and forth in bow pose here. Beautiful. Exhale the knees to the ground. Take the feet down. Put both hands on top of each other. And then just let your forehead come right there. Right on top of the hands. Relaxing the shoulders. Beautiful. Take your hands underneath the shoulders. Come onto the knees. And believe it or not, we're not done yet. I just have to see what time it is to see how much not done we are. So take that moment to help buy me time by drinking some water or something right now. But don't do anything else. Don't go on your phone. I just need to see the time. Okay. We're not done yet, but we are actually almost done. Because you got things to do, right? You have to, you have so many things that you want to achieve during this time. So actually, let us come into another back bend, which is called camel pose, Ustrasana Ustrasana camel pose. So you can take your blocks now if you have them, tuck your toes. And if you don't have blocks, you can just use your hands on your heels, or I'll give you a little modification for that. So coming up onto your knees here, if you have blocks, take them towards your ankles. If you don't have blocks and you can't touch your ankles or your heels just yet, just take your hands, point them up your back or point them down your back. Draw your shoulders back. Start to guide your thighs back and your hips forward. And just allow yourself to open up your chest, drawing your elbows close to one another. If you can reach onto some blocks, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can grab onto your ankles. And let your head rock back behind you if it feels comfortable. Take a few breaths. And then if you have your head back, bring your chin to your chest and come up to straight again. Sit back onto your heels. Okay. That was a lot of opening up the front part of your body, and I hope that you feel a little bit more room to offer yourself love and also energy, right? So coming into a nice seated position, we're coming into, from cross-leg, we're coming into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So taking your feet together. And they may be really far forward, which is totally fine. That's just not comfortable for me. And the sarong is getting a little in the way here. So bring your feet together. Grab your ankles here. If the legs are up really high, don't even worry about it. You're just going to stay probably pretty high. Take an inhale and let your head go. Breathe into the hips here. So if your legs are down a little bit, take an inhale, long spine. And exhale, hinging at your hips. Send your heart forward. Maybe the elbows are going to go to the outside of the legs. And you're going to let your head go and take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Start to roll up your spine. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Take your right leg forward and your left foot into your thigh, coming into Janu Shirsasana. So in this, you have a couple of options. One is that you can stay up high here, and this is your pose. We want to have, in either way, we want to have the knees lifting up towards the thighs, engaging the top of the thighs. The toes are spreading, the feet are flexed, which means the toes are reaching back towards you, and you could stay up nice and high if this feels as far as you can go, and you're feeling a tight hamstring stretch here, maybe even something in the thighs. Or you can take an inhale, lengthen your spine, hinge forward, maybe the elbows come to the ground. Maybe the hands reach towards the foot, and you can let your head go. If that feels way too easy for you, the left knee can reach back behind you and then extend all the way through the left arm, reaching for the right foot. So taking a few breaths here to enjoy this stretch. See if you can find your breath and stay with your breath here. Let any thoughts that happen in the mind dissipate away and focus on your breath. Focus being in the here and the now.
Beautiful. And of course, you can stay here as long as you like. And we're going to start to come out of it right now.
If you want to practice that pose on your own and stay there longer, feel free to do so. If you want to bring it up to 3 minutes, it becomes a Yin Pose. So taking your feet forward and switching out to the other side. So your choice here, your body's choice sometimes too, right? Inhale, lengthen your spine, and exhale. You can hinge forward, keep the kneecap lifted, the thigh engaged, toes are spreading away from each other. Flex that front foot. Beautiful. And taking a few breaths. Maybe that right knee reaches back behind. Being with your breath. Loving kindness in your thoughts, if you have any. Allowing yourself to find freedom in the mind, freedom in the areas of tightness. And take an inhale. On the exhale, let that tightness go. Soften into it. A few more breaths here. Beautiful. Walking your hands back towards your body. Let's go on and do our Shavasana now. We deserve a nice, beautiful Shavasana. So coming onto your back, take your feet hips distance, well, actually towards the sides of your yoga mat. Turn your palms up. And then start to lift the chest here for a moment. Let the shoulders gently draw under and then settle back down. Turning your palms up, you can keep some space between your body and your hands. Take an inhale and exhale. Close the eyes, let out a nice sigh. You're allowed to have a smile here too if you want. And just enjoying the practice that you created for yourself, the movement practice that helps to find areas of space in the body for your beautiful light to glow in all of those areas. So you can actually imagine right now the light that's in your heart able to shine its rays, its beams into all the beautiful different areas of your body. So seeing that light shine into your leg, your left leg. Seeing that light shine all the way down to the knee, all the way down to the heel, to the toes of the left leg. And then seeing that light shine all the way down into the right leg, the right thigh, the right knee, the right low leg, and the right foot, all the way into the toes. And seeing that beautiful light shine into your belly, your pelvis, your seat, your hips, your back. It's really bright in your spine and in your back right now, right? It's the brightest there because it's closest to your heart. And into your throat. See that breath, that light shine into your throat, into your skull, your head, your eyes. Maybe even shining out through your eyes. Maybe your eyelids are glowing right now. Shining out through your mouth and the crown of your head. And seeing that light shine into your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your fingers, shining out through the palm of your hands and your fingertips. And just allowing yourself to emanate this beautiful glowing light that comes from your heart, from your chest. beautiful light. And that's who you are, a beautiful light. Let it shine. And starting to deepen your breath, seeing the breath rise and fall in the belly. Maybe you see your fingers and your toes start to twinkle and wiggle. And take a nice inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Start to stretch your toes and your fingers in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Exhale. Take your arms down to the sides of your body here. And bring yourself over to your right side. Coming into the fetal position. Taking a moment to just enjoy the inner beauty and allowing yourself to express it outward. That inner light. Beautiful. Take your top arm and press it into the ground to bring you up into seated cross-legged position. Sitting with your eyes closed in your cross-legged position, you will shine bright today. Your light will glow, pour over into everything you do, into every person that you spend your time with talking or seeing. And just that also even means yourself. So sending that light and enjoying that light, swimming in that beautiful light that you are today. Feeling fresh and new. Take your palms together to heart center, and we will seal our physical movement practice with the sound of Om, inhaling. The light in me is honored by the light in you. Thumbs to the third eye. Namaste. Yes. Thank you all so much for doing that with me. So, I'm just going to look at my doing that with me. For sharing your practice with me. Sometimes I get distracted. So when I see my husband move, I lose all thinking. So he came over here. I was like, thanks for doing that with me. So I'm just going to check to see if anybody says hello or anything, which of course I would love that. And of course I always have to sign into my computer and I mess it up 500 times. Just have to be okay with yourself sometimes. Yeah, I messed it up again. That took total focus, total concentration there. Okay, so, oh, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I love you. How are you, Mom? You could always get your support from your mom, right? They're your biggest fans. So thanks, Mom. Hi, Mom and Dad. And your dad, too. What am I talking about? My dad just doesn't have Facebook, which is probably really cleansing for him. He doesn't have to think about it. Mwah. My mom sent me a little kiss. So, hi, Judy, and hi, David. Even though you didn't say you're incognito right now, but I'm saying hello to you. Hi, David, who is a beautiful, beautiful artist, friend of mine from Chicago. And oh, hey, Judy. Gina! Thank you so much, Christina, for inviting us into your living room. You're welcome, Judy, and sharing your yoga practice with us. Love the affirmation. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Judy. You too, and I adore and miss you, and cannot wait to hug the heck out of you with a mask on, if you'll let me. So, well, my mom says looking good. So that's good because I took a shower and ran over here to to actually do the class today. Gina, I love you. I miss you. Let's talk today. Um, and also anybody that, of course doesn't feel like saying hello, which is totally understandable. Not everybody likes to, chat on Facebook or anything like that. What's up? Oh, my husband wants to take something. So anyway, so yeah, just a little bit of reminders of what I talked about in the beginning. Oh, very actually more importantly, because some of us don't have this book, The Artist's Way, which I'm doing right now. Starting today, day 1 is my first day. The Artist's Way is something that helps you cultivate your creativity. It kind of, one of the things that it has in here is called morning pages. And I know some people have actually heard of morning pages. So morning pages is basically you wake up a half hour early before the usual time that you wake up. It's like talking to a therapist or talking to God or just letting everything that's in your head just get out onto a piece of paper, and then you could just get rid of that, just tuck that piece of paper away and not look at it for the rest of the day. But it actually helps to cleanse your thoughts. So morning pages is basically waking up a half an hour so it doesn't cut into your schedule, a half hour early, filling up 3 pages of stream of thought. That means just anything that pops into your head at the moment, you're filling it up, filling it up, filling it up. And it's really helpful. It's almost like a meditation too, but it helps you to actually calm down. I don't want to say the crazy, but I do like to joke around and say calm down the crazy in your head. And I mean that in the most loving, silly way. Oh, we do have some more people. So morning pages is so fantastic if you are feeling like you're in your head a lot and you need to get some of that stuff out of your head because it's just not working for you. Another thing I want to say is, also the things that pop into our head all the time, they're not real. Like there may be real stuff in there, but sometimes there's stuff that you're like, whoa, I didn't know that I thought that way. They're not necessarily real to reality, or whatever is real is what you really want to be real. It's not if you're feeling like, oh my god, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that, you can observe that and go, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, but that doesn't mean that that's who I am. I can try now to, with observing that, to actually figure out, okay, how do I make my way out of those feelings? And that is a constant work, right? There's a saying that, happiness is a choice. It is a choice. Every single day you wake up and you want to try to choose either to be happy if that's what you want. Of course, I'm not going to force you to be happy, but it is work. Happiness is work. But I want you to realize that all the thoughts that happen in your head are not necessarily real. So, okay, so with that being said, if anybody has any questions about that. Oh, Renee! Ah. Hey, Renee, how are you? Love you. Thanks for giving back. To me, it's just like, let's just do this together, right? So, but like, thank you for saying that. It's really sweet. It makes me feel good that you feel that that I'm giving back. But like I learn everything that is good in the world from people. Like we all learn from each other, right? So by the way, hi John from my mom. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, still write to this feed and everything. And I'm going to head out so you can do all the stuff that you want to do. What? My husband's telling me something, but okay. So, by the way, come to our beintheworldyoga.com website and support us. What? I don't know what he's saying. Just say it, baby. Please say it out loud so I can hear you. Okay. So I'll find out next week and I'll let you know. So come every Wednesday. We're doing this on Wednesday at we start at 10 o'clock. And if you come here earlier, then I do less babble in the beginning. So anyway, love you. Namaste. Thank you for spending your time with me. Namaste.